Thailand has its first potential case of the Omicron coronavirus variant. If confirmed, Thailand will be the 47th country in the world to have cases of the new variant. Saksit Sasombat joins us live now for more. Saksit, what do we know so far about this potential Omicron case?
Oteli, this potential case is a 35-year-old Thai-American businessman who traveled from Spain here to Thailand at the beginning of this month. Now, when he left Spain, his PCR test was obligatory to board the plane. That was negative. He had a layover in Dubai for 9 hours, but then when he arrived here in Thailand for the one-night quarantine, that's where they detected a positive PCR case test here when he arrived here. Now, and then they did the Thai health officials did some targeted genome sequencing, looking what variant it is, and they found that it looks like the Omicron variant, but since this is a targeted sequence testing, they can only be certain of 99.92%. So in order to be completely 100% fully confident, they need to do the full sequencing. So that means that it needs a few days up to a whole week until they look at the whole genome sequence of this virus, of the infected man, to see if this is actually the Omicron variant. Nevertheless, this man here was vaccinated with one dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and also has no symptoms whatsoever, or at least very mild symptoms, and is now in hospital. It goes to show that at the very least he was caught in quarantine. So that's why we are saying it's a potential case, because they still need a second test to see if it's actually Omicron, and B, also this is an imported case, so there's no evidence of community transmission.
So, Saksit, as far as we know, Thailand has already banned travelers from 8 African countries from entering the country. Are there any plans to further tighten border restrictions?
Indeed, as you said, at the onset of the Omicron variant, Thailand has already banned travelers from 8 sub-Saharan countries, including South Africa, where the country that first reported this new variant. But as of now, there's not really that many new regulations and not that many new measures. Thailand, as you may know, has reopened its country to 63 countries and territories here to Thailand with minimal quarantine measures. They only have to come here with a negative PCR test and also with a on-arrival PCR test where you have to stay in a hotel for one night. If you're negative, then you can travel anywhere else. But the one slight change because of the variant has already happened. Initially, Thailand wanted to change the on-arrival test to these rapid test kits, so you don't have to stay one night in hospital. But because of this variant, they shelved this change. So now you still have to do a PCR test. You still have to stay for one night in the hotel. Nevertheless, what this case also shows here, that the Omicron variant goes around the world. And also that brings in a lot of uncertainty. Health officials here in Thailand have said from very early on that it's almost impossible for Thailand to avoid this, to dodge this. But as long as these remain only imported cases, there's no evidence yet of community transmission. And that is something that Thailand wants to keep this way, especially not only for the tourism reopening, but also for Thailand trying to recover economically, especially with the end of year festivities.
Very many thanks for those updates. Saksit Sasombat there speaking to us on Thailand's first potential case of the Omicron variant.